welcome Mr. Aniket. Uh, Aniket, welcome to our channel. How are you?
Hello everyone, I'm good. How are you, Rachana?
I'm doing good. So thanks a lot, Aniket, for coming on our channel. Just to give you a brief on who my channel audiences are. They are more stock market savvy. Uh, every one of them might not have a good enough idea about cryptos. So I would request that whatever you talk about Biconomy, whatever you talk about future of cryptos or taxation perspective, Web 3.0, I would request that you try to simplify it for a layman. One person sitting right in front of you is also kind of a layman in crypto, so would be great that if you can simplify it to its core so that everyone can understand the entire discussion, right? uh,
Yeah. And
so
firstly, thanks a lot for having me on the show. Been a big fan, and really excited to be part of the show and kind of sharing some of the insights. And the what you said, simplifying it. In fact, this is something we have been doing for the last 3 years at Biconomy. We want to simplify crypto for the mainstream because I know, like your audience. In fact, most of the mainstream audience, like it's very difficult for them to know crypto, what's Web3, what happens, how to use it. And our product also is major towards how we can simplify it for everyone and tell them about the revolution we can have once we enter the Web3 ecosystem.
cool. We will talk about your product for sure, but I think we should start with something which caught the attention of majority of people, which is about the crypto taxation, right? When the government said that we are going to tax cryptos at 30% flat, no set off, nothing. What do you think? What is your view on this entire crypto taxation thing?
It's a very progressive move by the government. I'll just give you a very simple example. My friend who was deciding to be part of crypto in the last, I think, 3 to 4 months, is
Hmm.
like whether I should be part. What if government gets banned? Like, what if I go to jail? And all this kind of misconceptions people had.
Hmm.
And yesterday he called me. It's like he already like signed his paper. Like he's leaving his job and he's entering crypto full time.
Hmm.
So we'll be seeing like more and more these guys who are just in a dilemma whether to get into crypto, whether to start, their journey into blockchain or Web3 projects as a like team member, as an entrepreneur, as a venture, anything. These people will be like start entering the space, and this is definitely like very progressive move. Of course, there's some clarities needed in terms of actual implementation of the budget, but the first phase 1 has been like very positive. I'm kind of looking forward to it. What happens in India in the next couple of years. In fact, we have seen without the crypto law, what happened the last 2 years is like the world is looking at India in terms of crypto, in terms of the innovation happening. Now with a more positive kind of stance from the government, I don't think so anyone can stop us.
Yeah. But the whole discussion was that if we tax crypto at such a heavy rate of 30%, then there are chances that the developers, the innovation which might have come through India, these developers
Hmm.
might run outside India, and they might something like a brain drain can happen again with this entire taxation thing. You feel this is
I
possible?
think it kind of affects a lot to the traders community, but
Mhm.
for the developer community, we don't look at the tokens, we don't look at price that much. Like for us, we are focused on the product, we are focused on the technology aspect. Earlier, like the biggest threat was that if we start something, a company in India, you know, what if the government comes and shut it down, or we go to jail? Like, or what if like we don't get validation from everyone because people think it's a scam. People think it's gonna get banned in the next couple of months or years. At least that preconceived notions and misconceptions are gone now. Developers were always focused on the product side of things. At least the ones I know, like people who are in for the long term. For the
Yeah.
traders community, like at least the good traders, at least they not everyone can move out of India. Maybe like few of them who had to move, they have already moved, or they were planning to move. But a good majority who were trying to do something, make like small investments here and there, they'll be entering the space. And
True.
it is a very progressive mode for the developer itself, because for us, prices are secondary. Tokens definitely is a part of it. It's a backbone of crypto, but it is not everything. It is just like like one of the ways to kind of achieve decentralization.
Absolutely. So the point that you said right now, that tokens are secondary and all that, but again, for a layman, a token, or as a layman, many people call that as a coin, a crypto coin or a
Yeah,
cryptocurrency, right?
yeah.
Uh, are there, can I say that every crypto token has a specific use case? So for example, if I were to say that, uh, whatever, 1inch, okay, or these
Hmm.
DeFi platforms, okay, every DeFi platform has their own token. Or maybe if I were to talk about ETH also, ETH, the token,
Hmm.
versus Ethereum, which is the blockchain, if I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if I were to ask about Biconomy and Bico, the Bico is the token, right? And Biconomy is what do I call that? It's it's a platform,
Biconomy?
or yeah, Biconomy.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
So
It's a platform.
again, if you can tell, so like Ethereum is different and ETH is different, right?
Hmm.
Similarly, Biconomy is different and Bico is different. By the way, Marathi people, Bico means wife, I know that. But Bico, we are talking about the English Bico, which is nothing but the name of the token. So two are different things. So again, for a layman
Hmm.
perspective, if you were to differentiate a token from the main name, if you were to throw some light on that.
Oh yeah, totally. So we started off 3 years ago, and when we started, we had no plans of Bico. Like it was Biconomy only. It was the platform itself, and we were like pure crypto nerds. Like we started the careers with crypto. We wanted to see the growth in space, and we were seeing ourselves in crypto, regardless what happens. We started using applications, and we found that one of the biggest problem is that it is so difficult to use an application. Even right now, we have come a really long way. People have all the tools, and there's like enough content available, but still for a layman, in fact for a crypto savvy person, to use an application is a nightmare. So the main problem statement was that, okay, crypto is definitely awesome, web3 is going to be ruling the world in the next couple of years. How we can make it more mainstream? And this is how Biconomy got started. The main aim of how we can simplify people using all these applications. Like imagine, like when internet was launched, it was so difficult to kind of log into a website. It used to take
Yeah,
like hours just to have like a normal kind of a YouTube video. So crypto, same, like application right now, it's in that phase that for a normal person it takes so much time, and also it's a learning curve for anyone to use an application. So the problem statement was that how we can actually make the application mainstream, and the path we took was like targeting the developers. We're like, okay, we have to make the life of developers easy. We have to provide them different tool sets so that they can make mainstream applications that can be used by anyone, like who comes with the crypto knowledge or not with the crypto knowledge. And the UX should be in a way that they're used to, right? People don't care whether it's Solana, Polygon, Arbitrum, XYZ at the back end. They just want to use a normal application as they use Spotify, as they use YouTube, as they use other Web2 applications. So that was the main problem statement, and that was kind of an inception of Biconomy. So 2 years we kind of worked in the problem statements. We were like, okay, we have to solve the problems. We have to get more customers. We need to get people to use our products. We got all of them. Like we have like like clients using us, and we kind of found the right product market fit. Now, in order to scale the product, we never wanted to have like a single point of dependency. Like if we are the one solving the problems, if we are the one kind of solving the transaction issues in the space, what if tomorrow like government shuts us Biconomy, or what if like tomorrow there's some malicious activity happening within Biconomy? So we decided to decentralize Biconomy,
oh,
and that is how Bico kind of originated. So Bico is a token that is powering the entire Biconomy ecosystem. And the
okay,
use case, as you mentioned, like is firstly to have enough stakeholders to be a part of the network, so that there cannot be any single point of dependency on us kind of running the centralized servers. People will be having Biconomy tokens, they'll be staking, and they'll get some rewards out of it. Second is also we want to decentralize the governance process, so that people in the community can benefit from the ecosystem, can be a part of the ecosystem, and can make decisions as we move forward. So this is how we kind of distinguish Biconomy and Bico, and how Bico came in the picture. And this is
so
like a
right,
common, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so right now I think whatever you are focusing on is to make the life of a developer easier, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Acha, Turbo, one of our subscribers, he's asking, is it Bico or Bico token? Same?
It's Bico,
Is it the same?
BICO, BICO.
Yes. Oh, BICO is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So BICO token or BICO is correct, right? Not BIKO. So going back to my question, you were mentioning that you are making the life of a developer easier. My question is, does Biconomy also try and solve the problem of a user? Because for me, I remember when I were to set up my very first NFT, I recently thought of launching my first NFT and hosting it on the OpenSea platform.
Mm.
And to be honest, I was tired watching all the videos, because first I had to ensure that I have a MetaMask wallet. Again, how to open a MetaMask wallet? यहाँ से शुरुआत. First, trying and getting that, then understanding it. Then the amazing problem of gas fees. Every single time I was, trying to put some ETH in the MetaMask, transferring it from WazirX to MetaMask, and every time it would say that out of X, whatever ETH you have transferred, usse zyada is going to be the gas fee. Like, hey Bhagwan, how much gas fee am I going to pay for this? So it was a big pain. I had almost paid, converted into INR terms, I had almost paid 10 to 15,000 rupees as gas fee, and that was like a huge one for me. Then I had to link that MetaMask wallet to OpenSea.io. Then OpenSea. So for those who are again not into this, uh, OpenSea is like a platform, right, where you can sell your NFTs, right? So you can imagine like dukan hai yaar. It's a shop where you can sell NFTs, right? So, but again, that whole pain process, it takes such a lot of time. Are you trying to solve some pain points of users only, or only developers? How do you go
So
about it?
yeah. So I think it's a really good point you brought up, and ultimately we're solving for the users only. Like all these pain points is something we are solving. But when I say developers, is a path that we have taken as helping developers so that developers can make user facing applications. So end user won't be actually interacting with Biconomy. They'll be using the normal like your favorite application, OpenSea, Uniswap, Decentraland, etc., etc. And we are the one powering all these applications so that you can use the application. So we come in, we are like, okay, as the pain point you mentioned, that anyone who wants to use an application, you have to like go through like 10 different steps, like maybe more than that. And it is a pain point. I mean, we have some visuals as well, probably like
Shall I share?
I can
Shall I
send it
share?
to you. I can say, yeah, maybe I think that way I can explain in a better way, like what is the journey right now and
Sure,
how
sure, sure.
Economy comes in and how we solve the problem.
I'll try and share this one. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible right now. So this
Cool.
is a very small example. Like one of the applications using Biconomy, the pain point was that anyone who wants to use the game, it takes like forever for them to use to onboard in game because the steps are like
Uh,
it's
a
never
very
ending.
basic question. Game as in a normal game, or what?
Normal game or normal application. Let's say 1 inch. Let's say
Okay.
OpenSea. Let's say you want to use OpenSea. Like I just
ठीक है.
like put game. It's just like a normal example. Anyone would understand. So anyone
Okay.
who wants to like play a game in the current without Biconomy, like he has to go through like 10 steps. I mean, we have reduced the steps, but steps are way more. Like they have to go to an exchange. They have to do KYC. They have to buy some token. Maybe that game token is not available on that exchange. They have to like move the tokens from the exchange. Then they
Yeah.
have to buy the token and then move the token to the particular game, and then they kind of start playing the game. And the entire process is super cumbersome. It's a great learning curve that is needed over there. Plus it's super expensive as well. Like imagine you listening to a song on Spotify and you have to pay for every song that you listen. You wouldn't have seen like millions of users, or you like watching a YouTube video and every video you have to pay some song. So all these like application developers or like all these entrepreneurs, they're like very much willing to subsidize that cost for the end users, but they never had the way to do it. Like they didn't know like how to do it, because like how to make Spotify, but you don't know all the like developer tools that is needed to make it mainstream. So this is
True.
where Biconomy came the picture. And maybe like a next slide, if you can show, is how Biconomy comes and kind of reduce all these steps. So we wanted any user to use any game or any other application in a way that they used to in a normal working way.
In my example, if you were to talk about OpenSea, then what do I do? I visit the OpenSea website here.
You visit the OpenSea website, you just connect your MetaMask, and I mean you can start using the NFTs or buying the NFTs. You don't need to worry about having Ethereum, with you all the time in order to pay the gas fee.
Oh,
You don't need to
okay.
have, like and other token that is not needed while using the platform. Like why would you need like a token all the time with you in order to use an application? Tomorrow there are like 20 different blockchains. How would you manage like 20 different base tokens in order to use any application on that chain? So this is how Biconomy comes to the picture. This is how we kind of reduce the end user experience. and make it extremely slick so that they can use an application like a normal Web2 application. And all the backend complexities of setting up the wallets or like paying the gas fees, making sure the transactions never get stuck. I'm sure you must have used OpenC, and you
Yeah.
have placed the transaction. It said like transaction is pending, and you're like, okay, I can have my dinner and stuff. And 2 hours later, it's like transaction is failed. Like like
Yeah.
many of the users have faced this kind of issues. So we make sure that transaction never gets stuck. Once you press click, it is there on the blockchain, and you don't have to worry about it. And we do it in the most efficient way possible so that users can actually use an application, and they don't have to have extra capital initially to use any application. That is the case right now.
True, true. So I remember while I was choosing OpenSea, there was one more platform. I can't recollect the name of that, but I guess it requires Solana as the token. Uh,
Yeah.
if you can, I mean, if do you remember? I mean, can you
Yeah,
share?
yeah, I think it's called Lux. It's a platform where so OpenSea is built on Ethereum. The platform is
Yeah,
built on Solana. So if you have to change the chains, like there are like 20, 30, hundreds of chains out there. So
yeah,
whenever you change the chain, you need to have that base token. So if that platform is on Solana, you need to have Solana. If the platform is on Polygon, you need to have Polygon. That like if the platform is on Avalanche, you need to have Avalanche tokens.
so in that
But
case,
end
if I were to use your platform, Biconomy, then I need not have that token. Is that so?
Yeah, you don't need any of the base tokens. You can just use an application, and the backend, the fees part is kind of subsidized by the platform itself, because they want to do it right.
Yeah,
Spotify never ask for your AWS bill, right? Like the videos that you see for free, there's a cost behind it, right? Like
yeah.
they don't ask you, like, because that is how they acquire the users. Similar way, like in order for Web3 application to scale, they have to subsidize, and they're very much willing to do that. With
Mhm.
the innovation happening in the L2 and the scaling, like new scaling chains out there, gas fees already, like the problem of dollar value of gas fees has already been reduced. So the platform developers are very much willing to subsidize it so that people use these applications, and kind of make it more mainstream.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So, uh, okay, one question coming up. Can I take one question
Yeah, yeah.
in between? Okay. Most of the big investors like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and Warren Buffett say crypto is nothing but a bubble. Why need we get into all this mess? And can we get equivalent returns from stock market? Why should one invest in cryptos? If I can get your take on this.
I think, firstly, if you want to invest in crypto, it should be more on the technology part of it. Like how you invested in internet when it was 2000, right? Like you, of course, return as a part of it, but you wanted to invest in the revolution, the change in the lifestyle,
True.
the change in like how used, daily applications. Um, the similar way, like you should look at blockchain in terms of returns. I don't know whether it can have the same returns as that of stocks or not. Maybe less, maybe more, but that should be a secondary, but it should more on the technology aspect and what revolution it can bring in the normal lifestyle. Like one of the major application is DeFi, right? You have seen like what revolution it can build in terms of personal finances, like how you manage it, right? It's not possible in a normal centralized world. Like a 15-year-old is learning about and being involved. Like a normal bank account takes like 7 days for anyone to open, right? Like and like 15-year-old can't even open a bank account. So it's kind of giving empowering like a younger population to be part of the financial ecosystem, and learning about all these different things. So this is how we should actually think about it, getting into crypto and also investing in it. Returns will be there. Maybe it can be more than stock market, maybe less than stock market. That is depending on where you place your bets.
True, true. So I think what Aniket is trying to tell is that when we were back in 1998 or 99, and when again I can give the same example. Mr. Warren Buffett, of course, he's the guru of everyone, any person who is investing in stock market. But at that time, he used to say that I don't understand Web 2.0. I don't understand a company like Amazon because it's I can, as you know, we call these companies as asset light companies. They don't have plant, they don't have
Yeah,
machineries, they don't have big
yeah.
factory buildings. How do I really guess that what could be the profitability, what could be the turnover of such companies and all that. So that is why Mr. Buffett said at that time that because I don't understand it, I don't invest in it. I think that's an absolutely fair equation, right? If I don't understand, I don't invest. So I think, Manoj, to answer your question, Same copy paste will be for cryptos as well. If you can't understand the use case of it, please don't invest. If you are able to understand the use case, number one. Number two, if you are able to get convinced with the use case that it is solving, and if you believe that yes, this is solving some problem, and if it is solving some problem, it can get popular in the future, then you bet on that product, that project, I can say, and maybe then you can think about investing in it, right? So that is how maybe we can build the thought process. Am I right, Aniket?
Yeah, totally right. I'll just add a step three as well.
Sure.
After evaluating, you can even use the product. Like use the product and see like what is, how differently you're kind of looking at the ecosystem, how differently you're feeling yourself, post using the product, and then make that investment. So this is how it should be done in a normal Web 2 world, even if in a normal stock market, right? So I don't invest in stock that much because I don't understand it, right? You know,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. For all our channel viewers, this is for the exact opposite side of the world. He's saying I invest in cryptos because I understand it. I don't invest in stocks because I don't. But see, fair enough. He
this is
says
how it should be. Yeah.
exactly you should invest in something that you understand, or even if you don't understand it, like I mentioned, maybe you try to gain more and more knowledge on that. If you feel that yes, abhi kuch samajh mein aa raha hai, then maybe you can think about investing in it, right? uh,
Yeah.
then I think the point that I was making here is that if you feel that yes, there is a good use case to it. So I think what you were talking about Biconomy, that you're trying to make the life of developers and users easier, right? To sum it up in one sentence,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If that be so, if that be your use case, you as one of the co-founders of Biconomy, I'm sure you might be analyzing how you have progressed on a year-on-year basis. So how do you try and how do you try and measure the success of your project? Any specific matrices that you use to measure the success?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's been a long journey for us, and we started, back in 2019 when there was no DeFi, there was no NFT, there was no all these like games and all, right? We were like, okay, these things will come up in the next coming years, but we have to be there once they're there. So the first year was like, we were just, conceptualizing, we were building the product, we were getting it out in the market. We were just trying to make sure that, our product actually really works. Like there are like few applications who might be using us, but we had to test it with some of the application who are actually using it.
Mhm.
Actual productions, main traction we started having in late 2020, like when our first product, that is gasless, that we have talked about, where we kind of reduce the end level gas problem. It actually started getting the right product market fit. Since then, it's like never looking back. Over the last 1 year, like 100 plus customers kind of using us, right now. That includes like the bigger games as well, including Sandbox, Decentraland. They've been like regular customers. Zetron has been like one of the earliest customers of ours. And our success is kind of majorly measured in like two, three different ways. One is
Mhm.
like the number of applications using us. That has been constantly increasing over the last 1 year. Um, there's some
And
visuals as well. Maybe.
sorry to bother you. Like you were saying that there are a lot of applications that have been using your ecosystem. I was trying to surf on Twitter simultaneously. If I can just share my screen, is this what you're talking about? The
Yeah,
app
yeah,
in
this is our ecosystem. It's actually the entire ecosystem has been built in just last 1 year. Like when we were actually heading in the market in 2020, there were only few customers, but this all ecosystem grew in the last 1 year. The number is like 100 plus right now. And it's like ever increasing right now. Like
Oh,
we
you
we
are
worked
interested
with.
in NFTs as well?
So our use case is not only specific to DeFi, it's NFT, it's DeFi, it's gaming. Any application
Oh,
on blockchain who wants to make user-facing application, who wants to make the life of users easy, they use Biconomy. We also worked with like normal Web2 brands as well. So Dolce Gabbana, like everyone must be familiar with it. They wanted to do like an NFT drop, and they use Biconomy for it. You know,
wow.
uh, so we are seeing more real-world applications coming, like Web2 people who are trying to get in the space, who want to leverage the Web3 expertise, and also leverage what they can do and interact with the users in a more effective way. They all use Biconomy for that. So whether it's gaming, DeFi, NFT, they all are customers. So this is coming from the adapt side of things. In terms of transactions that we have done, you know um, of course, like 13 million in total transaction that happened in the last 1 year. And I'll tell you, like when we started, there were like 100 transactions we were doing, less
Wow.
than 100 transactions on a daily basis.
From
Right now, we're
100
like
to
50K
12.9
transactions.
million.
So whereas like on an average, like 50K transactions we do, we have crossed over, 1.5 billion dollars in the total volume that we have transferred, over the last 1 year. In terms of users using us, there are more than half a million users who have interacted with Biconomy sponsored applications.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a big number in terms of crypto, because crypto is just getting started. We are at a very nascent
Yeah.
stage. So we've
Mm-hmm.
seen like 75x growth in the last 1 year in terms of users using us. And our community is pretty big. Like we have 100K users on Discord. I won't call users, but they're like community who always interact with us, who use our products, who give us suggestions. We talk to them, we chill with them. On
Got it.
Telegram also, it's like 30K. We always are there just to interact with them and see what happens. So this is with a new product that we launched like a couple of months ago. It's called Hyphen. That is something I haven't talked about, but in crypto, whenever you move, as you mentioned, right, you use that application in Solana, and you
Yeah.
were using OpenC. So for you to move your asset, it takes forever. The bridging,
True.
if you have to switch chains, it might take you some days, in fact, in some cases. So we're like, okay, this is a big problem, like who's going to wait even like few seconds, a big time, right? Who's going to wait like few
Absolutely.
days in order to move assets? So like, okay, this is something, that falls right into alley, because we are always in for the UX part of it. And we're solving for the transactions, and developers are facing kind of a biggest problem in order to make applications, more usable if this problem kind of persists. So build this, product called Hyphen, where users can easily move assets from one chain to another, and happens in a few seconds. So this is something we launched, like a couple of months ago, and we already crossed like $100 million in volume, like with that.
Wow.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, aggressive kind of roadmap ahead of us. We wanna make sure that all the upcoming applications on different ecosystem we are targeting are using us. And our main mission is to onboard next billion users into the crypto ecosystem. So we'll be building products just for them, making sure that we enter into ecosystem in a world where there's no difference between Web2 and Web3 application in terms of user experience. Of course, like internal differences will be there, but end user cannot tell whether you're using a normal Web2 or Web3 application.
True. Maybe, yeah. So I think you have given some amazing matrices, something like how many users have grown over the past few years, how many number of transactions have taken place, or how many dApps got connected with your platform. I think all these are very important matrices. So this is how a business analysis is done, right? So if I were to do analysis of an IT company, instead of how many number of transactions were done, I would say how much is the number of how much is the revenue for the client, right? Instead of talking about how many dApps were connected, maybe I can say how many customers has the IT company catered to, and they have this typical reporting that a customer paying more than 10 million a year, in the range of 1 to 10 million in a year, in a range of less than 1 million in a year. So it's the same thing, I guess. So Aniket, on this note, I think I should give a shout out to my own channel, that you should follow my channel, and then you will understand how to maybe
No, I've been
deep
already
dive
following
it.
it.
Cool. So that's how you can, because you have been analyzing your business for such a long time. So analyzing businesses in stock market is going to be an easy walkthrough for you. And like we say that we will make a small portfolio of cryptos, have a target of having a small portfolio for stock market as well. Right.
And also, I think one more important thing here is we're very transparent here. So all this data, the essence of crypto is that people can verify it, that whether we're
Mhm.
doing saying the right thing or not. Everything is on chain. So we have a public dashboard where they can see live action happening. And it's not like we can lie about it. Like
Yeah.
usually in a normal Web2, it doesn't happen, but it can happen in a normal Web2 company, because
True.
things are in a centralized server that I can lie about my numbers. But here, since everything is on chain, we're kind of working in a decentralized way. Everyone can track it. Everyone can see like whether we're seeing the right thing or not.
True, true. One quick question again from the audience is asked by Raghu. What is the use case of gasless dash or other product is? What the question is.
Yeah. So gasless, as I mentioned, it is one of the biggest pain point in the space that we experience. In order to use an application, you have to pay certain gas fees.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, you. I think example I gave earlier as well. When the use case is there, like you using any normal application, you don't know about the application at all, but still, in order to use it, you have to pay certain fees. It's like a certain tax for everything you do on the application. Whether you like the application, you don't like the application, you have to do it. And this is like one of the biggest turn off point for anyone using an application. I
Mhm.
just want to try this application. I don't know whether I'll like it or not, but why do I pay for it? And I have
Yeah.
to do it for all the applications in crypto. I would just go bankrupt just by paying something for even I don't know what it is about. So with
Mhm.
gasless, we are solving that issue so that you can use a normal application. You don't have to worry about paying certain things on it. And that is subsidized by the dApp developer or application developer who's building the application. So that is the use case. There's major use case in gaming, DeFi, NFT space where for every interaction in crypto you have to pay some gas fees, and this can be removed for end user.
Got it. Got it. One fine. I know. You also might be having a lot of other commitments as well. But before we move on, one last quick question I would want to ask that if one person were to participate in the ecosystem, then how can one person do that?
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think the easiest thing anyone can do is like be a part of the Biconomy ecosystem is like buy the tokens. So we are kind of listed on all the major exchanges. In fact, today we launched on WazirX. So even in
Oh.
India, like people can buy with INR. It just went live today. You know,
Mhm.
this is the easiest way to do it. But I would encourage people to be a part of the ecosystem in a way because people can be as I mentioned earlier, like we are decentralizing a network, so people can be part of the network itself. So they can have Biconomy tokens, they can delegate it, they can stake it, and they can earn revenue as the business progress. As we kind of add more utility to the entire ecosystem, people will be getting some share of the revenue because they're part of the ecosystem. They're staking Biconomy tokens. They can also be a part of the decision making process. We're kind of making live a governance where any decisions like within the organization, they can present their views whether they like it or not. And this is a very important aspect of how decentralization actually works and governance works. So people can be a part of the governance process, and they can present their views, and they can in fact be a part of the council members as well if they want to be get involved. So these are different use cases where anyone holding Bico can add some value to the Biconomy ecosystem.
Amazing. Oh my God, we got this immediately. But I think what Aniket said is that rather than focusing on the token, one person should go and understand the purpose or what sort of problem statement is it solving, right? And if you understand that, then that is more important than ye token kitne se upar jayega, how much profit will I be able to make in how many I think that is the outcome. That is
Yeah.
not the main point that we have to look at, right? So I think we had a fantastic discussion. 40 minutes, my God, time just flew away. Yeah? But
Yeah,
I'm
that's really
sure,
insightful.
yeah, really insightful. I can surely say that all my viewers got to know quite a bit about what is Biconomy. We discussed, I mean, so many number of things, right from problem statements for the developers, problem statements for the users, which are being solved. How a business metrics, what different business metrics can be checked to analyze the progress. So wow, really insightful. Thanks a lot, Aniket, for joining in and giving your time for the viewers of our
I would
channel.
want to thank you for firstly inviting me to this, like awesome discussion. I hope, like users might have gotten some idea regarding how crypto ecosystem works and how Biconomy works. And the way you explained, Rachana, it was like really simplified everything, like I'm really motivated by that. And this is how, like it should be like, this is how we are trying to do with our, like product that we're launching as well. So thanks a lot. I'm kind of always available on Twitter, Discord, Telegram, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, want to further know more about Biconomy, I'm always available.
What is your Twitter handle, Aniket? If anyone
It's
wants.
Aniket Jindal.
Aniket Jindal. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more on cryptos and maybe specifically Biconomy as well, you can surely check out his Twitter handle, Aniket Jindal. Again, one just random comment, very insightful, Aniket sir. So I'm glad everyone has liked
Thanks a
it.
lot.
So just one random, I thought of showing it on the screen. Cool. Thanks a lot, Aniket. Once again,
Thanks a
and
lot. Thanks for
hope
having me.
all the best for your upcoming projects as well.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right. So with this, I think